I think we got everybody here. Robert's not going to make it today. He's got some personal issues going on that he needs to take care of. And welcome Clayton for visiting with us today as well from Roosevelt County. Is that correct?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay. Thanks for joining with us. All right. Well, okay, we got the recording going. Let me share my screen to the agenda. All right. Everybody see that?
Yep.
Yeah. Let's just start off by getting, is everybody gone over the minutes for last month? Is there any discussion about them? Any issues with them at all? Speak now.
I made several edits off of it. I did tell Aaron to, because there was some inconsistencies with the mics and the Jeffs on the board, just because we have 2 of each now. So I guess going forward, instead of spelling out our entire names, to just abbreviate our last names with P or H or S. So I think that'll work.
You could also go with last name too. I don't know, maybe we have some repeats there.
Yeah, either way, Aaron, whatever you think is best, but I think it would be a good idea to differentiate between the 2 Mikes and the 2 Jeffs in the future, kind of thing. So however you want to, if you want to put the letters or you want to just spell them out as the last name instead of the Mike and the Jeff, that's fine. However, it would be better to differentiate who's talking and who's not talking.
All right, I'll refer to the secretary style guide, which is not existent. But thanks for helping me out, Jeff. Yeah, there was some back and forth with the confusion of last names, but I'll use the last initial. So
yeah, and then the spacing too. Like I was able to delete 2 pages just by getting rid of the extra space on everything. So
yeah, I'm not concerned about spacing and stuff. I mean, but yeah, if you want to just keep it neat and tidy, that's a good idea.
Yeah, having missed the last meeting, Aaron, I just wanted to thank you again for doing that. I know it's a lot of work, so I appreciated the minutes and stuff. So thanks.
Yeah, very good detail is captured in those minutes. So thank you, Aaron, for the minutes you've provided over the last year.
yeah, last meeting was a bit of a lengthy one. So yeah.
Right.
At least you had the recording to go back to.
Oh,
I know
God.
previous boards they didn't. So
Yeah, otherwise it would be evaporated out of my mind, which would be no good. So
Yeah.
right on.
Okay, well, with that said, are we good with the minutes? Do we have a motion to approve them?
Look good to me. I'd make a motion to approve. So
Second.
Thank you. All approve, say aye.
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 All opposed? All right, we approve the minutes. All right, next on the agenda, we have, I see Alicia's here today, which is great. Yeah.
Hey, Alicia.
And Michelle, would you like to introduce?
Yeah. Hi, Alicia. How's it going?
Yes. Hi.
Is it hot in Georgia?
I don't think I think it's hotter in Montana actually right now.
Oh, really? Maybe not as humid though.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we got the humidity. That's for sure.
Well, thank you for joining us. We just wanted to bring you on in the beginning to just introduce you to the board members for Magip. And so, Mike, I don't know, Alicia, why don't you just introduce yourself more formally and just tell us a little bit about yourself, and then if the board wants to introduce themselves, they can.
Okay, so my name is Alicia Smith, and I work with Michelle and Michael, full scope. I handle marketing and communications for various nonprofits. I currently live in Georgia. I lived in Montana for the last 15 years and moved back to Georgia, is where I grew up. My husband and I both, to be closer to family. I've been within the communication and marketing business for almost 20 years now. I got my start in broadcast journalism and then went into public relations and then marketing and communications afterwards. Most of my career was working with in healthcare and in the health and wellness space. So let's see. Yeah, so I live in Georgia and I have 3 kids and a dog that is being very loud on the deck outside. So I apologize if she starts barking.
That's fine. That's great. My name's Mike Powell. I'm the president of Magip this year. And we're looking forward to getting this thing going here and hoping that you can help us out with our social media, getting us out there a little bit more on social media and stuff. And we're thinking about maybe helping out with a newsletter as well, or some kind of thing, that stuff that's still a little, we need to talk about a little bit further, but that's just kind of the general ideas of what we were thinking of. To start with anyway.
Yeah, and I think I had mentioned to Mike, to Alicia, that one thing you all have talked about is there's just so many great things that you're doing throughout the state and the region perhaps. And it's just, sometimes those stories kind of stay within a really small bubble within your community. So yeah, Alicia, I think just looking at broadening their reach as far as getting some of those some of those stories out. Currently, Magip does not circulate a newsletter, but they utilize Wild Apricot for their membership database and webpage as well. So Alicia has become familiar with Wild Apricot through some of our other associations. So, they have a newsletter module in there. So just in talking about, I don't know, and I know that you guys haven't decided whether to do a quarterly or a biannual or annual newsletter, but that was one thing to focus on. And then, yeah, really just kind of ramping up those social media efforts, and just maybe working directly with somebody on the board or two.
We were
to help
thinking
with content.
Yeah, we were thinking your contact person would be Mike. Would be the member development committee person, and that would be, at this time, it's Mike Edom. If you'd like to introduce yourself, Mike.
Sure. Yeah, my name is Mike Edom. I'm kind of
sorry.
No worries. Magip board of directors, and I'm a GIS analyst for the Department of Transportation. Lived in Montana my entire life. I look forward to serving in this role, and I guess working with you, Alicia, to do some more social media for our organization.
Sounds great. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice meeting you. Where did you live in Montana?
I was in Missoula.
Cool.
Yeah.
For 9 years.
Yeah. I'm definitely missing it.
Can't beat a Missoula summer.
You cannot, especially the rivers.
Yeah.
And Mike and or Jeff Hedstrom, or whoever would know, I didn't know, might be a good idea when you guys are ready to get Alicia on the listserv. So maybe if one of you could just speak to, so Alicia, and Wild Apricot, the membership database is there, but then Magip also has a listserv that's I don't know if it's necessarily a separate list. Somebody else can probably speak to it better. There might be some duplication. But if one of you could speak to the listserv and what you utilize that for, it might be good to get her on board with that.
Yeah, so the listserv is a Google group and anyone can post to it. It is moderated, but that's more of a, it does reach folks down in like Wyoming and Colorado and Washington and Oregon. So it's much more of a regional listing. But there is actually a lot of our membership that is not part of the listserv just because they don't want all those extra emails. So we do have a database of our membership, and you can sort it with, active membership. So just sending something out to something that the active membership is, or, we even have like historic contacts too, which some of them are invalid emails, this and that, but it's just kind of a combination of everyone that's been part of this organization over time. So.
And are you okay with me taking things out of that listserv and using that for content for social media?
Oh, in terms of posts, yeah, it's all on the Google group, so it's
Okay.
all, yeah, and I think actually all of our previous emails out of Wild Apricot are also in there too. So both automated ones and manual.
Okay, so the listserv is more of a regional broader reach, just for probably more general stuff.
Yeah, and
not-
people
not
ask
as-
questions. Yeah, and people ask
Okay.
questions in there too. But like I guess the board communication to our membership is more through the Wild Apricot platform. But oftentimes it is easier to send it out to the listserv, just because it is just ease of access to everybody. So.
Yeah, like when we're promoting the annual conference, I think the listserv is a good, a more regional, broader reach.
Yeah.
And not as targeted as our internal database. So, okay, well, if you, yeah, we can talk about that too, Alicia, and maybe we'll get you added to the listserv. I can't remember who has to do that, Jeff, but.
I can add her. Yeah.
Okay. And then Alicia, I can add you as an admin to the Wild Apricot.
Okay. And do you guys currently have social media channels that you use?
We do have a Facebook page, I believe, and we are on LinkedIn.
Twitter.
Yeah, do you guys have a Twitter account?
Yeah, I think we do.
Yeah.
Okay.
And is anybody currently using any of these accounts?
I personally see LinkedIn a lot more than I view. I haven't seen much on the Facebook, or I'm not on Twitter at all, so that's just personal. Okay. But LinkedIn, I see quite a few things on there. So.
And I have all the login credentials for all those accounts, Alicia. I can pass along to you.
Okay.
There's Instagram too, I think, right? Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. It looks like
I gotta step out for a second, so I'll just, okay. I'm gonna be a second here, sorry.
That's okay. So I think those are the 4 accounts, Alicia.
Okay. Now, and then you guys are trying to just create awareness about your organization. Are you you're trying to get more members? I just want to know what to focus on as kind of the ultimate goal. Want to speak to that?
I would say yes, yes, and yes. So.
Okay, all of it. Okay.
I think there are probably certain sectors that we reach really well, like the government sector, local government, federal government, state government, that type of folks in here. But maybe private sector, like engineering and things like that, those type of GS professionals, it'd be nice to see more involvement in that area.
Okay.
Yeah, we can certainly do a more deeper dive on it later there, Alicia.
Okay.
So I think this was more just kind of an opportunity to meet you and kind of just give a broad sense of what we do and probably get a sense of what we do just through the business that we're approving today. So.
Okay.
Yeah, it's great to have you on board. And yeah, like I said earlier, I think a newsletter would be something that's been talked about, and then just kind of amping up that social media. So it's a brand new position that the board is looking at. So I think they're still working through the the specifics of exactly what they need. And I think that'll be good for you and Mike to, maybe you guys can work together on it'd be great to put together a, just kind of forecast over the next year, just some kind of a communications plan as to what the goals are for this first year and how to reach those.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So, okay.
I was going to mention also, Alicia, that there's past minutes on the site that has us kind of highlight some of the conversation we've been having with talking about getting somebody to as a kind of a communications arm, and you can kind of get an idea of what some of the past conversations we had about the reasons as to why, and also the videos of us talking about it as well. So if you wanted to get any background information, those are some good resources. Of course, working directly with us is going to be your best. But yeah, just want to highlight that.
Yeah, I posted that link in the chat, and then we have the archives kind of towards the bottom, and you'll see that we have archives going all the way back to like 2010. So.
Okay. Thank you.
Or 2008, I guess. Okay, move on. I'll fill in for Mike until he gets back. So some information on conference committee liaison.
Ellie, I'm just going to tell Alicia goodbye because I think you have to hop off, right?
I do.
Okay.
It was really nice to meet you all.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks, Alicia,
so
for
much.
joining us.
I look forward to
Yeah.
working with you. Okay. Thank you.
We'll be in touch. Bye.
Bye.
And Erich, I don't want to murder your last name. So what is your last name?
Last name is Schreier.
Schreier. Okay. So from our discussions from last month, we unfortunately had our current conference liaison that was elected resign, and so I set up a meeting with Erich. His boss kind of reached out to me at the conference and was wanting to possibly for someone within their organization to run for an election, and so kind of through different means, I think we do have an opportunity to appoint Erich, and particularly with the conference being in Bozeman, I think it's a good fit. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself there, Erich?
Yeah, I am the GIS specialist with the city of Bozeman. I started this position in November. Prior to that, I worked for Ethos Geological for about 4 years, and I graduated from Montana State in 2018 with a degree in earth science. My focus was actually in snow science, but it was very heavily tracked in GIS and geography. So I was pretty excited when the position with the city popped up to really get some experience with that, with the GIS knowledge that I had. Around Bozeman, just like to mountain bike, ski, spend a lot of time cooking, and relating to this position, I'm just excited to become more involved with the GIS community in Montana.
Well, we're real excited for you that you're interested in stepping up for this one. We really appreciate that. And
I think the timing is great with the with next year's conference being here in Bozeman, and then also Zach Collins being on the team. Yeah, just all around great opportunity.
Is there any discussion amongst the board members?
Yeah, if everybody's all happy with this, we can get a motion to approve Eric here. It is Eric, right? I'm sorry.
Yep.
Eric.
Jeff had the more correct German pronunciation. So,
Erich,
but
yeah.
well, either one works for me.
Which one do you
Been
prefer?
called both. Honestly, either. I've just been called Eric.
Okay. Gosh,
but-
we're gonna have
but
two
Erich-
Erics on the board too.
Yeah, but
At
a
least it's
good
spelled different.
distinguish could be Erich. It's
Okay.
Eric.
slightly more correct technically. So
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, if there's no further discussion, if we're all happy with having Eric, I'm just gonna call you Eric.
okay.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to appoint Eric Schreier as our new conference committee liaison.
And I can second that motion.
Thank you, Nate. All approve? Say aye.
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 Anybody opposed it? All right, well, welcome.
All right. Thank you.
Really appreciate you stepping up.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this opportunity. So thank you all.
Good. All right. Okay, so now we are move on to our next item here about discussion about the member fees and increases and with membership and getting the budget going here. Anybody want to start with this? Jeff put out a proposal for that's attached here, which I can bring up, I think.
Yeah, services, this is Eric.
Nope, that's the wrong one. I knew that. And I can't get it here. Oh, there we go. Did you want to go over this, Jeff, a little bit?
Yeah, so essentially this proposal kind of outlines a new membership fee increase, $50 from 30. Student would go up from 15 to 20. And then the associate member one is kind of the bigger debate, is, you know, this current proposal, but I have some more information here in a second, would remove all of the groups and essentially just bundle it. So you have kind of a base level of 4, and then you just add on after that. And then the other benefits that we would that we're implementing that were not before was the $10 off for registration for each member, recognized on the Magip website, and also recognized at our annual conference and then in a newsletter that we're hoping to produce in the future. My take on it has changed a little bit recently. I had an opportunity to have a conversation with Aaron Fashway here at the State Library. And there is concerns from the state perspective too, that because we are stripping out the groups, that state organizations we would almost be completely eliminating the possibilities of state agencies being able to sign up anything past the four memberships. You know, just because the way it's worded, that you're essentially adding on additional members for a specific rate instead of having these different groups. You know, you sign up for a different level of those ranges. I guess for me, I underestimated maybe potentially the value of that too. You know, so I think we could do a couple different things. I could see us just raising it up to 50, and that includes the membership, the associate membership as well, but keeping the ranges. So then you would essentially just increase it to the top to the highest level. So the 6 through 10 would just increase to the 500 instead of the 300. I think that's, or maybe I'm getting that wrong. Someone had that matrix up. I can't remember.
Yeah, 750, I think, is the highest one.
Okay.
Yeah, it is, and I did have that set up.
Okay.
I got that in a document. I can add that.
Yeah.
Later to that.
But
Aaron is online. Did you want to throw in a couple things?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Unfortunately, we didn't have time to pull together an official response. I have to dig into the policy. But there is a policy about paying for individual memberships with state funds. And so I'm just going to have to look into that before we can fully respond to that. For those of you that don't know, we've recently experienced a natural disaster in our building. And so we've all been displaced, and because of the UC and then and just vacations, we just have not had a chance to fully dig into this.
Yeah.
Library was flooded?
Yeah.
Really?
The July
The
3rd,
roof.
the July 3rd storm caused, it basically poured on GIS, but we're all displaced until we don't know when. There's a natural disaster team mitigating the building right now.
Oh, wow. Had no idea. I thought it was just, interesting. Okay. I was just gonna, I apologize. I'm glad Erin was on so that she could share. That's basically what I was gonna share with you all, was an email from her to me regarding that associate membership range, but it sounds like Jeff was already covering it, and I apologize. I thought I was muted when I answered that phone call. So
No worries. I hit the mute button for you, so.
I saw that. Yeah, I was just like, what the heck? I mean, I don't know why Zoom automatically doesn't mute you when you come into these meetings, but oh well. But yeah, so that was going to be me voicing that opinion of the state library from I guess from MLIAC's side, concerns and cares and whatever else. But Erin's online. She voiced it clearer than I did. So I'm going to mute myself again and just step away, and maybe you guys can figure out that whole associate membership thing. I do have to voice, I would say, is that why would you, in an associate membership, I don't get why it would cost more to add people than what a regular full member costs. I don't see why you charge 60 for additionals versus just the 50.
Yeah.
So, but that's neither here nor there. All right.
Thanks, Eric.
Yeah, and then my other comment too is, I really don't want to. I don't want to rush this, and I feel like this has kind of been rushed the last couple of months. I don't think this would have been an issue had our budget cycle not fallen the way it is and under the way it was before, with it being January, and we would have had enough time to set it up before a budget was approved. That said, though, I know it does kind of create a little bit more from a decision headache, but getting more of us involved, having more of a comment period, especially for our associate. I mean, I just would hate to lose, like, say, City of Missoula or like Missoula County, where like I had no idea these memberships were increasing. Where is this money even going to? So I mean, I still don't think we've had enough information out to our memberships of why we're increasing. A lot of it's simple. Things are going up. Our conference is taking. It's costing more. We're wanting to use some of this funding for an communication as associate. So, I mean, it's all laid out, but I think effectively communicating that to our membership is key. Because I mean, and the other thing too is I would not want to lose the state library, because that's 25 members within that bundle. So I think that feedback alone does hold some weight. But I would be curious the rest of you how it impacts your organizations. So do keep that in mind too. I mean, I'm trying to balance both the Magip side and how it affects the state library, because I do work there. But
thanks, Jeff. I have a question and then some comments on this. But so can we just briefly review this associate membership right now? So it's essentially a fixed cost, and you can add as many as you want up to a certain amount.
Mike, do you want to pull up that associates page?
Yep.
I think it's actually under more of like the join Magip. I think it has like the breakouts better.
you know, historically it's been confusing to a lot of folks. And then of course, as we're discussing, there's there's some confusion as to
Yes.
justification as to becoming a member.
Yeah, so currently what's on the table is significantly different because it would essentially be removing all of these levels. And I think there is some legitimacy to simplify things a little bit too, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know if we want to lose some of our associate members because it's just easier to sign up for, 5 individual members than to pay for a 4 and add another and all this other stuff too. I don't know. My opinion's changed in the last couple of days just because I've had a chance to talk with Aaron, and also too, I think a deeper dive could be in the cards for what other organizations or associates do for their benefits. Because I would like to see some benefits provided with the associate membership, but depending on the degree of things, it would be what the cost would associate with it too. So I don't know.
So at this point, really, right now, like for $750, state library pays a set amount for as many members as they can, as Aaron wants to sign everyone up for. But what we're proposing is a set amount of 4, and then any additional would be individual,
a set cost.
And that's what Aaron is concerned about, is that the 750 is a group of folks versus the 60 or 50 individual. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely a concern, and I think we need to take that into account for sure as well. And that might be justification enough to send out, maybe an email to our membership about, at least giving folks a heads up. I think if we do decide to increase ultimately, I mean, I sent a kind of a report to Jeff for the last meeting, and I'll just
and I did give some of those points out there.
Jason, I saw that. I appreciate it. But as far as the membership fees specifically, I'll just reiterate what I think we should think about. We should definitely provide that history as to the fee structure and why we've done what we've done. But inevitably, folks are going to ask, well, why is it increasing? And we all know inflation and stuff, but we haven't increased it for a long time. But we also need to, like everyone's mentioned, we have to justify, why we want folks to become members of that, associate membership. And whether it's the reduced conference rates, which is great. I think that's an awesome idea. Or if there's any additional incentives, but we have to be prepared for it because people will likely ask.
Any of you others have a comment?
Interestingly enough, based on that proposed thing, even if they couldn't, if they add those individually, those additional 21 members at $60 a head, that would be another $1,260. So plus the 250. So instead of 700, I mean, yeah, that's
it's
well, and if we just go with just the simple 50. Straight up, look, we're raising everything up to $50. That's gonna, and associate members, and we keep the brackets and we keep all the groups and we move everything up accordingly. Yeah, that's gonna make the associate members, I believe it is about 1,200.
Mm.
So that's definitely a thought there. It does look like it goes up, and you're like, oh, we're breaking $1,000 here. So yeah.
So that's a $500 difference from what they pay now to what they would pay. It's $1,250 if we move everything up proportionally. For 25 members, for me, we've got we do the associate membership for the up to 10 members, so that we take it from $300 to $500, that's pretty nominal to us. I don't think I would get any blowback from the head of IT here or anybody at City Hall. But I don't know, depends on how people's budgets are. I guess just from my perspective, you know, changing it as we've just proposed, it doesn't seem like it's a big deal. So we don't have the full 10 members that take advantage of it, but it's worthwhile to support the organization, and I'm always using it as a tool to try to get people to get involved with Magip. So
Sure. And that's the intent, you know, even if you fall in that category, you only got 6 people, you know, and you got room for more, but it's there to help support as well. And that's certainly the intent there.
Is it
You know
more of a,
that- That's what the city of Bozeman has done, because they wanted to also support the organization as well as the members. But I just have a question. Why did it go from 30 to 50? That seems to me like quite a jump.
Well, I mean, if let's see here, if we go back to nope, not that one.
Yeah, I think there's Jenny, I guess to answer that, there's been discussions on both ends that increasing only to 40 or to
Right.
50.
Right, with the 50, that would give us, let's see, what was it? The 40 in the budget, I believe, was gonna put us in like a $500 hole for the budget to cover the new conference associate. And I mean, this was the main reason for raising it was for, raising the fees was to cover for this new position here that we're having. To help pay for that. That was the main reason, and hopefully we'll see some benefit out of that with better social media outreach and this maybe newsletter. And that was the whole point of, you know, trying to promote Magip a little bit better.
Yeah. Well, and the cost of everything's going up there too, Jenny. And then,
Right.
you know, just in inflation in general too, you know, Magip, we've never raised our rates
Right.
since the existence. And Nate did a little statistics on this where, you know, $30 in the late 90s is $63 today. So that 2.5% inflation over 32 years. So that's part of it as well. It's just inflation and making sure that, you know, we are set up to continue to provide the benefits to our membership in the future. So it is about the communications associate, but it also is kind of staying sustainable and, you know, trying to stay up with the times and the increased costs with everything.
Okay, along that same line, I would imagine with costs going up as they have, that the conference may have to go up as well, because food and everything else to go along with that is going to be probably quite a bit. I don't know.
Well, we have considered that as well, and we thought that if we raise this by 50 or $250 in membership fees, that we could probably keep the conference at the same price without. I think we agreed that we didn't want to raise both of them, kind of thing. You know, one hit was fine, but that was our thoughts anyway.
yeah. Looking at Jeff, Mike, and I had a discussion about this, and in looking at other organizations, many of them haven't changed their fees for like their membership, but a lot of them have changed their conference fees. So it's one, you know, half dozen one, six another type thing. So where you may not see a membership go up, you may see a conference go up, costs go up significantly.
Yeah, but ultimately too, I don't want to get to the point where we're pricing people out too. So like, I still think, you know, I think $10 or $15, $20 is a pretty sustainable increase. And you know, I think the point though with the associate membership is just you know how large some of those groups are. I just wouldn't want to get to the point where we're pricing out some of our larger supporters, contributors. So.
Well, I would just say, as long as you can counter that with a discount in the registration fees for the conferences, that I probably don't, wouldn't have a problem with it, but there's going to be a fine line there.
Yeah, I
To
mean,
balance that all out.
I agree with that, I guess. And I did, Jeffrey, I think that's a great point and great conversation that you guys had, because I think that's something to consider as well. I mean, it seems insignificant, a $20 increase, since we haven't, in so many years, we've never increased our prices, but truly people will start thinking, what does this membership do for me for an extra $20, and maybe we do decide to, increase it maybe $5 or $10, and then we increase, our geocon costs a little bit to counterbalance that.
And I think in addition to the increase that you determine, unless I heard it wrong, it sounds like too, there still is the issue of the state agencies being able to pay for individuals. So it sounds like, the structure of the membership, we still need to have some type of group option, because for Aaron, it sounds like it's not, aside from the money issue, it's more about them being able to pay, like they can pay one overall group membership, but they can't pay for the individuals. So I think that's the other thing to remember to look at.
Those are all great points, and absolutely.
I guess to proceed, I would like to talk about this more between now and probably our September and October meetings. So I say we just set up a task force, get a few of us on there meeting outside of these calls, and we can decide what to do from there, whether or not we want to go out to the membership, whatnot. But I guess that would be my motion, is to create a task force to look in this a little deeper, because I've probably have changed my mind. I've almost probably completely flipped on this, really. But I do not want to discount the value and the input from our membership, and potentially especially for our associate members.
Go ahead, Aaron.
Thank you. I would be willing to be a part of that group or subgroup if you guys want membership. I will give our official response once I dig into this further and check on our procurement rules and whatnot. And I agree that membership probably does need to increase it. $30, but $30. Keep in mind, it's kept it reasonable for anybody, like Jason said, just to kind of pay and not have to think twice about, like, oh, now I'm paying an extra 20. Is it still worth it? So, and then a couple of things to my recollection was, I know membership over the years ebbed and flowed on a conference year and a non-conference year. And when those bundles were put together, with membership and the conference, it enabled folks to purchase it that weren't, if their organization if their organization disallowed them from purchasing any kind of membership fees, even if it included a discounted price in the conference itself, which is kind of crazy, but it was just a rule that folks had to abide by. And so then I think out of that, I can't remember what year the associate member came into play, but I think because of that, creating that membership allowed for other organizations to purchase in blocks and include more members from their organizations. And so I'd be willing to serve on whatever subgroup or special group that would like to do that. I think that if you give a little more bang for your buck, add some more member benefits, you'll probably see more associate members. I have some ideas that I'd like to share, and I'd love to help.
Thank you. All right. My thoughts on this, well, no, I agree with all that stuff. I don't know, well, shit, I don't. I'm just trying to figure out if this is enough. I mean, obviously the associate membership, we need to have further discussion about apparently. And that would be a good idea to do that. And I'm thinking we can have that, like you said, maybe make a task force, or, you know, have something off to the side, or have it to other meetings or whatever. I'm just wondering if this is gonna affect us approving the budget or not, or if we gotta postpone that as well, to have the associate members set up, have that membership set up before we approve any budget, which I'm concerned with not approving this budget at this time. I'd like to still try to get it approved, but I understand of all the, to approve the budget, we definitely have to agree if raising the fees are good or not, you know, up to $50 or not. The whole associate membership, that I think we can still talk about later on and figure out later on as well, and get that established after the fact. But I don't know, I'm just a little concerned about getting the budget finalized here if we're not in agreement with the $50 or the $20 increase.
Well, we could approve a budget taking out those two items too, and then basically back channel later. I know it's not ideal, but I think given the current state, and just allowing, just because this still is a brand new idea, and I just would hate to lose members because of this.
Well, I understand that, but then we're not gonna have the communication associate then as well.
Yeah, I'm fine with that for now, you know, because we can always come back later and do, we can amend the budget. Come back later, amend the budget with the increased membership costs and that extra expense.
You could also just approve the budget knowing that you may not have the expenses that you anticipate, or the revenue too. So, you know, the budget is a guideline, right?
Yes, and I was reminded of that today as well. You're absolutely right. It is just an estimate.
Yeah. The only thing about that though, Jeff, and I guess it doesn't really matter. You know, we can put that stipulation in our motion, but it will significantly have but maybe purposely so. But it because we're not increasing the memberships, but keeping the added expense in there, you will see a pretty significant red number with our budget. But if that's the way we want to do it, then so be it. Just knowing that we'll come back and amend that budget later with the appropriate membership increase costs.
Might have to have some bake sales or something.
A raffle at our next conference. I'm fine either way. It's probably the same sort of thing because, you know, it's still going to require for us to amend the budget.
Yeah, and I think in looking at that budget, like there's some of the geocon expenses, I think you'll see that I think the facilities for the Grand Tree are less than the 3,500. That was based on the Holiday Inn. And Aaron, that was probably my fault for not getting that to you. And then, you know, we can always reduce the food costs. We can get creative. So I think you could lower your expenses. Now that's if the revenue comes in at what we're anticipating, but there's certainly adjustments that can be made, you know, to help out that bottom line.
Hey, Nate, do you have what it would be with just, I mean, what the numbers, the way we have it, but no fee increase?
Including the PIO position or the communications person?
I don't think you did a scenario like that. I think, or did you, Nate? I don't think you did.
No, it was just the $10 increase and then the $20 increase.
But can you do that real quick? I mean, you have that one that.
Yeah, I can do that real quick.
I guess, okay, so I guess while, let's just first address this. I would make I would like to make a motion to create a task force or a membership fee task force. Put a few of us on the board, put a few of us on from the membership. So I think that that'll be, yeah, if somebody wants to discuss that further.
Yeah, any other thoughts? Who haven't we heard from? Mike, you got any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think the $50 increase is a good thing. From my perspective at MDT, we aren't able to purchase associate memberships, so it's hard for me to, I guess, have a case for talking about that. But personally, I feel like maybe a discount on the conference registration fee for being an associate membership organization might be a good thing, like an additional benefit on top of having the discount for being a Magip member.
I guess the one concern I have is for people who aren't a part of an associate membership. They might be more reluctant to join with the $50 membership if their employer is not paying, just because they might not be aware of like the benefits they're getting. So I don't know. But the other option of generating revenue would be increasing the registration cost, which the employer usually pays for. So I don't know.
I'm sorry, Nate, I missed your first sentence there. What, did you say that you did do that? Were able to do that and you got a number?
Oh, yeah. Not raising the membership, but having the communications liaison position would put us in the hole by $2,800.
Well, that's something that we could probably tweak around. I mean, if we get. Not too bad was that.
Well, and if a job does what we want it to do, hopefully it would cover that.
Yeah.
We probably do have to move on there, Mike. So I guess
No, I mean, no, well, okay, first of all, let's
because we can just set up the task force and talk about it later.
Motion to set up the task force. Has anybody else got any discussion about the task force? Anybody want to second it?
I can. Would we want to include maybe some of the associate members or maybe all the associate memberships?
Yeah, we'll have to discuss on the side who we want to be in on this. Obviously, Erin's already put in her wanting to be a participant of it. So we'll add a few people, including the associate members as well, to get their input on it. So definitely. So all in favor of setting up this task force? Say aye.
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 Anybody opposed? All right, we'll set up a task force for that. But that's just going to be, that's not, the task force is for the associate membership to figure that out. I don't think it's not to discuss the $20 increase or anything like that.
I think we could look at all of it, honestly. But Yeah, like I said, we could look. It would be mostly pertain to the associate fee, because it has to be scalable for one. So
Right. Right.
I think anything would be on the table, honestly, but I think it still would probably come back to the $50 for full membership. So.
All right. Well, to be honest with you, I'd like to put a motion out to approve the budget of just not raising the salaries then after this discussion, so we have a budget to work with the caveat of that we may be adjusting it in the future here of this year. I think if it's just going to be in a whole $2,800, that's something that we may be able to tweak around if push comes to shove. And if Alyssa is as good as advertised, maybe that'll promote our membership to be even higher then. So that would be good. So I'd like to put a motion out for that to at least prove the budget as is, then with the 30 just membership prices staying the same for now until we come back and possibly adjust it. Anybody else do want any discussion on that? Anybody want to second that or not?
Yeah, I'll second it.
Thank you, Aaron.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, all approved, say aye.
Hey,
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so we'll approve the budget as is with the idea that we'll have a task force talking about the fee increase and the associate membership, and down the line here, hopefully maybe we come up with something. I'd like to have something set up before the end of the year, but we can discuss that too at I think the strategic planning would be a good spot to discuss that a little further. So
And we've got like 40,000 plus in reserves, right?
Nate?
that is correct. Yeah.
That's all.
So not that I want to dip into that, but thank you, Jeff, for bringing that up. Yeah, I think we should be good with that. All right, good. Well, let's move on here quickly because I actually have to go too. We had a request to, as most of us know, Leslie Zolman is she's got stage 4 cancer, and she's got a GoFundMe page, and we have put stuff out on the listserv about where the GoFundMe page is for anybody who would like to go out there and support. But we also had a request for Magip to actually help out as well. Anybody want to have any thoughts about that? I think it's a good idea. I'm not sure where that would fall in the budget lines at all, Nate, if you have any ideas on that.
Yeah, let me take a look.
Is the request for us as a organization to donate a certain amount?
Yeah,
That's how I read it. Yes.
Okay.
Obviously, you can go out individually and do it yourself, which I'm sure many of us have already done. But that's the request. So has anybody else got any thoughts about this?
Yeah, I do. Just because I've known Leslie for many years, and she was a big reason why I got onto the board. She was president at the time when, or maybe she was just coming off for presidency when I was running when I had helped out the run of the conference in Great Falls, and she continued to be on the board throughout her years until she left for Africa. You know, she's given so much back to not only the Magip community, but the Montana GIS community. So yeah, I would be in favor of contributing to or GoFundMe from an organization standpoint.
What do you think would be a price for that? What do you want? What would you think would be a good amount to throw out there?
I mean, we could go our standard meetup, $300. I think that's the most that we're able to contribute from a meetup standpoint.
Oh, okay. No, that I was not aware of. So that, yeah.
I don't, Jenny, do you know? Because I've seen something out there related to the 300. I don't think this document has been updated. This one shows 200. But
Yeah,
I thought the board amended.
2 or 250.
Yeah, I think we've been given. I think this was, we'd have to dig back, I think, but yeah, we do kind of have a policy on requests for assistance.
My thought on this would be put it out to the membership with the link and everything. GoFundMe does, I believe, take a percentage off of that. So,
well, we've already done that.
you've already paid the percentage off of
No,
donations?
I mean, we've already sent it out to the listserv and with the link to GoFundMe, her GoFundMe page. It's already been put out there like a few weeks ago.
We could do another one to the membership though, because I think that one was out to the listserv. There is actually a lot of folks that are not. You know, I could do a kind of an official email from Magip about that. So.
Has the organization ever done anything like this before with any of its other members in a situation like this?
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, I don't think this situation has ever came to us really.
So just from my
It
experience,
hasn't come to us in the form of a request. We've had
True.
members
Yeah.
in this situation before.
and just with my experience with this type of stuff in the past, you're setting precedent. So it's something that it will become kind of an expectation.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not saying it's bad precedent. I'm just saying.
Right. Well, do you want to continue to talk about this, or is this, I mean, I would assume that we would need to move on this pretty quickly. Not to, you know, maybe we should discuss this a little bit further, maybe.
Has anybody been in touch with Leslie to know how she's doing?
No. Is Megan still on board?
Yeah, I'm here.
Have you talked to Leslie at all?
I've talked to her. It's hard to say, you know, how she's doing. She's home. They've had a couple updates on the GoFundMe page with her progress. And she's in hospice. She was in the hospital recently, but she's back home now and they're just trying to make her comfortable.
Sure.
When I gave on the GoFundMe page, it said that you could pay more, but it did not, it said it wouldn't take a percentage. So they took the full amount of money that I donated. So I don't think that's an issue, but yeah, I'm not being on the board, but I would hesitate to start like giving money to every, I mean, this is not just anybody, it's Leslie, but.
No, I agree with that too, unfortunately. And I thought, you know, putting it out there on the listserv, and granted it was just a listserv, wasn't the membership. But, you know, to allow everybody to do it on their own. If they want to do it, great. If not.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually a good point there, Megan. I mean, at this point, you're almost setting a precedent and like, you know, grading accomplishments or value of Magip by this donation. So
Well, and at this point, you've got a lot of people that may not know who she is.
Thanks for telling us how old we are, Jenny.
Hey, I'm in the same boat.
I agree with that too.
I mean, it's something difficult to navigate. It's almost like, do you start a fund that just goes towards this, you know, for future items, kind of like a scholarship? Or, yeah, I mean, putting it out to the membership is one thing. Putting out to the membership saying, hey, Magip is considering providing money to this and asking for feedback, that's another can of worms.
I don't want to.
Could have the membership vote on it.
I don't want to ask that. I don't think that's a good idea. But God, yeah.
I mean, there's no good answer.
No, I think sending a letter to the membership, again, reiterating who she is and the link for the GoFundMe page. If they wanted, if somebody wants to go and, you know, do it personally, that's, you know, that's good for them. That's kind of putting us in a spot.
Well, and we could send it also to our member list.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, and not just the email list.
Yeah, right.
Since that'll get other people.
Right, that's what
Do you want me to put her GoFundMe page link in the minutes too? Or I don't know.
I don't have that on me right at the moment. But
that's a good idea, Aaron.
Yeah, we can do that.
I guess I should have been more specific on my precedent thing. I've been involved with this type of stuff in the past, and then when people don't get funded because there are significant reasons why they shouldn't, you know, I've talked to Michael Kruger and found out who Leslie is, and I donated to the GoFundMe just after I saw what a significant contribution she's provided to Montana and many other places. It's possible that long-term this could have some pretty negative consequences if we set this precedent, I think. Just people get frustrated, you funded this, but you didn't fund that type of thing. It just puts us in a bad spot.
Yeah, unfortunately, I agree there, Jeff. Thinking about it further, I guess, you know, these decisions are made collectively for a reason. So.
Yep. I agree with that too.
I'll make a motion to table this decision. I mean, we can certainly discuss about this offline. So.
Well, I think we should do a letter.
Yeah, we can make a letter, but that doesn't need board approval. So, but yeah, we could table this discussion, but have do a letter to the membership.
That's what I would do. I don't know if we really need to table it.
Yeah, should we just? I mean, we deny the
yeah, we can deny it.
the request, but then send a letter of our our appreciation and even given potentially an update on Leslie for those that, because I didn't know, I was unaware of the hospice aspect myself, but the membership might appreciate at least an update.
Yeah, that's what I think would be best to do for this.
Okay, I'll amend my motion to decline this request and send a letter officially from the board to the membership.
You're going to do that?
Well, I mean, we can work on it collectively, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's fine. Should we approve that then? So all approve or all, let's say, so do I have a motion to not have Magip put money in the account?
I basically just said it there, Mike, with declining the request for assistance.
Well, declining the request for assistance. So,
but providing an update to the membership through a letter.
You don't think we need to approve it and not approve it?
You can make it as 2 separate motions. I don't really care, but
I think, yeah, go ahead.
Jeff made a motion to decline the request for assistance.
Oh,
That's what's out on the floor. So I think you just need a second to that motion.
yeah. Well, I mean, I will second it because I agree with all that. So all in favor of declining the request, say aye.
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 Reluctantly say aye.
All right, so yeah, I think we should definitely do the letter out to the membership then. All right, let's move on. We have the retreat date set. I have chosen the Pollard on the 14th to 15th. I certainly hope, I feel like that the only time that's not gonna be, or the only person that's not gonna be great for is Jason, unfortunately. Which I apologize for, Jason, but it seemed to work out with everybody else, so.
Oh, it's great. I don't even, I'd have to look at, I don't have anything on my schedule. I have to look back and see how I responded to you, so.
Oh, yeah, you told me the 15th and 16th you were busy with something else and
Okay.
you didn't want to be away from family that long, but, and I apologize for that, but I think that's, we're gonna go with that.
Yeah, no worries at all. And I'll try to make it work for sure. And I'll have to go back and see what's on my schedule here.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally forgot to send out an invite for that. But I will send out an invite for the 14th and 15th of September. For the strategic planning. I motion that those would be the dates and the site. It's Red Lodge, Pollard. Anybody want to second that, or anybody got any discussion?
No, I think it looks good there. I'll go ahead and second it.
All right, all approve? Say aye.
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 Anybody opposed? All right. I will get that announced. All right, this meeting's getting a little long here. I mean, Erin has made in the chat, she wants to discuss the LiDAR SIG startup. That sounds like that she's interested in that.
Hey, this is Eric. I think her, and I'm just going to paraphrase because she sent me an email regarding this a while.
Okay.
Regarding the LiDAR SIG, has there been communication with Troy or the MSDI Elevation Working Group regarding this special interest group? Because Troy is already leading up all the discussion regarding Montana statewide elevation and LiDAR. And
right.
He has the infrastructure, the elevation working group. And so I don't know if this would be a special interest group that's in tandem with that or against that or in addition to that. I guess that might be what she might be asking, or if you want him to lead that special interest group. I guess.
No,
that's just what I'm looking at here.
Yeah, no, those were good points.
It does. Jeff, you can talk about it a little bit more, but it would have a completely different message than the elevation working group.
Exactly.
So this idea actually is my idea, and it came from actually from the work group that just happened recently that Troy led, and we want Troy to be involved. And again, this is just an idea. I don't know if it's a good idea or a bad idea, but it was just like, we're going to be getting a lot of LiDAR here coming down here for the city of Billings, Yellowstone County, coming in a couple of years, and just wanting to be prepared for that. And then also the conversation with the budget and talking about the different additional benefits that members get, and just seeing what Tommy's done with the local government and being able to look at those videos that have been recorded for that group, and just thinking of additional SIGs out there. So we're just it was just kind of a preliminary idea. We definitely wanted to involve the library and Troy, if this is something that we thought would be a good direction to go. I just wanted to throw it out there to the group as a possibility, I guess, at this point, so.
Yeah, absolutely. And definitely, we're gonna have further discussion. The stuff that says time permitting, I'm gonna keep all that on the next agenda as well. And we're gonna start feeding that in, and anything we really don't start talking about, or if we don't talk about during the meetings, we definitely are gonna talk about during or at our strategic planning session, because that's a 2-day event, and there's a lot of things to talk about. We need to talk about the stuff that we haven't got to yet. But I will leave it on the agendas just so we don't forget about it. We don't want to pass things up. Does anybody else, because there's some people starting to jump off here because the meeting's going a little long.
Yeah, we could probably motion to adjourn because it's kind of a little long.
Yeah, no,
we can get to the reports next month.
Yeah, yes, that's what I was saying. Yeah, unless I just want to give everybody else one last chance to talk about something if they had something they wanted to bring up today. Please speak now. Nothing? What do you think, Eric?
I was just going to motion to adjourn, if that's all right.
Oh, no, that's fine. I was just wondering how Eric felt about his first meeting.
I mean, it's been a good one to catch up on some of the inner workings there for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, welcome aboard, and we're looking forward to having you help out with the conference and stuff. But we had a motion to adjourn the meeting. We have a second.
I'll second.
All right, thanks, Aaron. Thank you for coming and lasting this long, guys. I know this was a long meeting, but we have some important stuff that needed to be discussed. So, and we still have a lot of stuff that needs to be discussed, and we'll get some stuff set up for this task force, and we'll send out some emails, and I will send out some invites for the meeting so it's on your calendar for the strategic planning thing.
Yeah, and then Mike, add Eric to your to the monthly call too.
Yep, we'll do that as well. Oh yeah, okay.
Are you guys sending out Outlook invites for that, or?
I did, but they got messed up, so I'll probably resend everything out again for the year, just so that way I'll have Eric on there and everything. So
yeah,
I'll get it straightened out eventually.
Yeah, Mike, I think I know what your confusion was too. So it shows us canceled on mine. So, and
Right.
I think it was because when Mike was sending it out, there was a glitch in Outlook, and what he told me is it completely dropped out of his software and rebooted.
And
So
restarted and got messed up. So yeah, I'll clean all that up and get your calendars all nice and pretty for you guys. And, we'll be all set then.
Sounds good.
All right, I apologize for that. All right, well, thanks for attending, guys, and we'll see you next month then.
All right, thanks everybody.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, y'all. Bye.
Bye.
welcome aboard, Eric.
Yeah, thank you.
See ya.
See you.